In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up the theming with Jetpack Compose. And more specifically, we're going to set up like dark theme, light theme, and how to toggle between them in real time. So that's kind of the best thing about this. The best thing, in my opinion, about the theming with Jetpack Compose is the fact that in real time, at runtime, when the application is running, you can click one button and the entire theme of the app will change. Every single composable gets updated. If you click a button again, you can choose another theme. Whole thing is updated. So it makes it really, really easy to toggle from light to dark or any other theme that you put into the project. So just as an example, I put a little button up here in the toolbar of the finished version of the app. When I click this button, it's going to toggle to dark theme. So let me just click this. Notice, boom, it gets updated to dark theme. If I click on any one of these recipes, every single, composable in the project is changed to dark theme. If I click it back, boom, there we go. We're back to light theme. And again, every single composable has also been updated. First, as always, I think it's always good just to go and refer to the documentation. That way, at least you guys know like where to go for help if you want more information. So here I'm at developer.android.com, Jetpack, Compose, and Themes. And I'm just going to read kind of the introduction sort of paragraph here. So Jetpack Compose makes it very easy to give your app a consistent look and feel by applying themes. You can customize Compose's implementation of material design to fit your product's brand. If that doesn't suit your needs, you can build a custom design system using Compose's public APIs. So this is just like I said. You can use the material design custom theme that Jetpack Compose has built in. We can customize it, or you can very easily build your own and through one click of a button, switch your entire app to some kind of another theme. Really, really, really awesome way to design theming, in my opinion. Lots of flexibility. Really, really awesome. Also the guidelines, which you'll see in this video, like the tools that they have to help pick like your colors and colors that match those colors, the fonts, everything is just really, I think, well put together and lots of good information. It's just good. So we'll go through everything in this video. As you can see, I'm a fan of it. I think it's really great. So let's get started. So the first part of this process when you're going to design a theme is you need to pick the colors, you need to pick the fonts, and I guess that's pretty much it. You can pick shapes and like other stuff like that, but that's configurable later. It doesn't really matter. The first thing is colors and fonts. So in this video, we're going to focus on colors and toggle between light and dark theme. And then in the next video, we'll work on fonts. So how do you choose your colors? Well, there's actually a handy tool that we can use on the material design website. So material.io. And let's go take a look at that right now. So if you're watching this on my website, this link will be down below, material.io/design/color/the-color-system.html, and then scroll down to the section tools for picking colors. Again, if you're watching this on my website, there's going to be a link down below. If you're watching this on YouTube, sorry, you're going to have to type this out yourself. So this section here, tools for picking the colors. Down here, we have this material palette generator. So what this thing is it's a tool with all of these, pre-built or colors that Google has said work well together. So the first step in this procedure is you want to choose kind of a primary color for your application, and then it generates all of these other colors that either complement it or generally just look good with it. So for us, I've already chosen the primary colors. And if you go to the source code for the project, I have this colors file, which we're going to be copying in later. So I'm just going to grab this for reference. This is the primary color that I've chosen for the project. Don't worry if you don't know what I'm looking at right now. We're going to talk about that in a second. So I'm just copying that, and I'm going to come over here and I'm going to paste that in. Whoops, I don't want to grab the FF, just everything after the FF. So grab that, paste that in. This is the primary color that I've selected for the project. And you could select any primary color, like you could use this little tool over here. That's what they want you to do. They want you to use this slider and use this tool. Select a color that you think is the primary color, or I guess select a range of colors which you want, and then it will tell you what the primary color is. So see this P right here? So if I wanted, this set of colors, it would say, okay, use this for your primary color. If I wanted, this set of colors, it would say use this for your primary color. If I wanted this set of colors, it would say use this as your primary color. I'm sure you get the idea. The P means primary. So the color that I've selected for our project is this range of colors. So 1E88E5. That's the hex code for the color. And the primary color, as you can see here, is the 600. If you're wondering what these numbers mean, these are, I guess, numbers that are within the same range. They're like different shades of the same color. So chances are you're going to want to use these in your project, with this being the primary color. These numbers don't mean anything in particular, like they're sort of arbitrary. At least that's my understanding. Like this 700 doesn't mean that it's like 100 somehow higher in some way than this one. I don't think, like if you look at the hex codes and you did the calculation, I don't think that the difference between these is 100. Maybe it is, maybe I'm wrong. I haven't done the calculation myself. I probably should have actually, but if you want to, you can check that out. It is, as far as I know, this is arbitrary. It's just like a scale that you use for describing the colors that you choose. So once you've chosen a primary color, you want to get this into your project, and that's what we have in this file right here. So if you go to the source code for the project and you go to here, I'll show you where it is in the source code, presentation, theme, and then this color file. You're going to want to go to this and just copy the whole file, and I'll talk about these colors in just a second here. So I'm just copying this. I don't want to type it out, so I'm just trying to save time. And let's go to Android Studio, go to presentation, right click, go to new package, call this theme, and then inside theme, right click, create a new Kotlin file and call this color. So now inside of color, I just want to paste that stuff in. So here, as you can see, I have blue 300, blue 400, blue 500, and so on and so on. And blue 600, as you know, is going to be our primary color. So if we refer back to the color palette, these are these colors here. So literally all I did was, click on this one and say, okay, I want to copy that. I don't even know how you copy this actually. Now that I'm clicking on this, it's not letting me highlight it. So I guess maybe you got to remember it. Yeah, because I don't know, it's not like letting me copy that. But anyway, so you just got to remember it, 1E88E5, and then you would come in here and write like, blue 600 equals color 1E88E5. The FF at the front here is the alpha. So FF is like, it's not transparent. So the smaller this number is, the more transparent it becomes. So FF would be, this is not transparent at all. So notice all of these have FF because none of them are transparent. So after you got the blue 600 in here, then you would just get the blue 500, the blue 400, and whatever. Technically, you don't need to get the other ones. I just like to put them in here because I have like the whole color scheme in here. That way, if I had to, refer to this, it's quite easy. I could very easily find another sort of color that is in line with my primary color. So after that, chances are you're going to want to grab like the complementary colors. These get known as the secondary colors in your project. Personally, I didn't like these, so I just left them. I like the blues, but I didn't like the oranges, so I left them out. So if you go to like our colors file, you'll see like this one random teal one. This is just like a teal color that I chose. I thought about using it in the project. I still might, so I just put it in here. I have a gray color. That's going to be like the main background color. And then I have a couple black colors here. So a couple just different shades of black. And then here I have an error color. So this is like a dark red and this is a slightly lighter red. And these are the colors that we're going to use to theme our application. I also want to update our colors.xml. So this is the same colors XML file that you would have used like previously in Android development before we have Jetpack Compose. It's just more convenient, I think, to also add these to here in case you got to use them somewhere else. So also copy this file. I'm sure you know how to get to it. You just go to resources, scroll down, go to values, click on colors. This is in the source code for the project. So just copy this, go back to Android Studio, and let's add this into our project. So resources, values, open up colors. And ooh, looks like I actually had a bunch in here from when I was playing around with the project. So you can just paste over that and use this. So all we need is like a black color, a white color for easy reference. We have the blue 300 to 800, which is the same ones that we have here in our colors file. Then we have that teal that I mentioned, which is also in our colors file. And then we have those two red colors, darker red and a lighter red for errors. So regarding the theming stuff with Jetpack Compose, the XML file is not necessary. Like these are not used to design the theme with Jetpack Compose. I just like to have these as a reference, kind of, just if you happen to have to do something with XML, it's easy, they're already here. Also, there is one thing that Jetpack Compose cannot change, and that's the status bar color. And if you don't know what the status bar is, it's this little bar up at the top here. So it's not a toolbar, it's not like the regular UI stuff, it's this up here. So Jetpack Compose cannot change that status bar color, so we're gonna have to do it the old-fashioned way. We're gonna have to update the styles.xml file and change that status bar color. So that's what we'll do first, actually. So we have our colors, our Jetpack Compose theming colors, we have our XML colors. So now go into styles.xml. So go into theme, or I guess it's in themes. Oh yeah, that changed for Jetpack Compose also. Before you used to have a styles.xml file, I believe that you used. Now we use a themes.xml, and there's two of them. There's one for day mode and one for night mode, or light and dark theme. So open up both of them. Open up the day one and open up the night one, and we're going to need to change these to change that status bar color. So it looks like I actually already have it in here. Android status bar color, and it's set to blue 800. I must have accidentally added that ahead of time in the source code. So if you don't have that, just make sure to add that right here. That's going to change the status bar color. And all of these colors, like color primary, the primary variant, these don't matter. So these are in here. You can delete those if you want, because as you can see up here from this comment, nothing here matters except the status bar color. The theme is obtained from the theme.kt file, and that's what we're going to build in this video. So only thing that matters here is this status bar color right here. Now going to the night themes.xml file also, and you can get rid of all this too. Whoops, get rid of all that also. Doesn't matter. All that we need is the status bar color. So now that we've changed the status bar color, now we can move on to the Jetpack Compose theming stuff. So generally what you want to do is go into your code and create some kind of a theming package. For me, I just named it theme inside of presentation. Now inside of theme, right click, go to new Kotlin file, and I like to create a file called theme or app theme or something like that. I'm just going to call it theme. And inside here, we're going to define all of the colors and also a composable that we can use in our project that uses whatever theme depending on like a Boolean value or something. So that was a lot. I said a lot of things there. So let's just do it and take a look and see what this looks like. So first I'll define the light theme colors. So private value light theme colors, and set that equal to a constructor called light colors. Light colors is a constructor. It's a color. It returns a colors value. So if I hold down control and I click on this, if I go up to the very top, this is a constructor inside of the colors class. So the colors class takes a whole bunch of parameters: a primary color, a primary variant, secondary color, secondary variant, background, surface, error, primary, secondary, or on primary, on secondary, on background, on surface, on error, and is light. So the primary is obviously your primary color. The primary variant would be like a variation of that color. So for us, like we're choosing blue 600 for our primary. So we could choose like blue 400 for our which was it, the primary variant. If you didn't have to choose a lighter one, you could have chosen 800, 700, 300, whatever. I just decided to choose that as the variant. The other ones denote, other things. Like in the color palette, we have that orange color. This would probably be like a good secondary color to go with the blues. That's why the color palette recommends it. For us, we're going to be using white because I like light themes. I like white. I like, I don't know, clean stuff, like mostly white stuff. So that's what I'm going to be doing. But again, I encourage you to, play around with it and see whatever works for you. Background is obviously the background color. Surface would be like cards and toolbars and things like that. That would be a surface color. Error obviously is for errors. On primary, so this is where it gets cool. So on primary would be the color that goes on top of the primary color. And Jetpack Compose will calculate this for you if you want to, and I'm going to show you that later on. On secondary is the color that goes on top of the secondary color. Think of when it comes to like these on colors, think of like when you're writing text on top of that color, what color would look good. So that's what these kind of things are. On background is the color that goes on the background. On surface is on surface. On error. Anyway, I'm sure you understand what's happening here. So now let's go back down to our constructor. I think it was light colors. So all this does is it's just like a quick way with some default values to build out one of those colors objects. So that's what we are going to be using. And of course, the is light value is true here. If you go down to the dark colors constructor, it's pretty much the same other than is light is false. So that's how we're going to be constructing our colors. So I'm just going to copy paste this over because I don't think it's really useful for me to just sit here and write these out. So just go to the source code, grab the light theme colors, actually grab the dark theme colors too, and then we'll talk about that. So just copying that, going back to the source code, pasting those in, and now let's see what we got here. So looks like I forgot to update the code again. So this should be black 2, that should be black 2, that should be black 1, and that should be black 1. And then get the color import here and get the dark colors imports, and there we go. Okay, so light theme colors, I already talked about that. I specified a primary color of blue 600. The variant is 400. My on primary, so that means that like the text that goes on top of the primary color is going to be black, My secondary color is white, like I said, and then the secondary variant, I made that teal color. Again, you should play around with this and see what looks good in your project. You can use my colors for now, but I encourage you later to just play around with these and like see what stuff looks like. On secondary is the color that would go onto that secondary color. Errors, and then background. So what is the background? The stuff that's behind everything, the color that goes on background, the colors of the surfaces, the color that goes on top of the surfaces. That's our light theme. Then if you take a look at the dark theme, it's kind of like the inverse of that, but you generally what you want is your on colors will be white. So like all of the text is going to be white, and then everything else is like dark or black. So for us, I'm keeping the primary color, but I changed it to be slightly darker. So it's blue 700. My primary variant is white. Then my on primary is white, because that would mean the text on the primary color is going to be white, which is what you want in a dark theme. Secondary is black 1. Lots of stuff is going to be black. On secondary, so the text on there is going to be white. Background is black, basically is black. So this is a slightly like lighter black. Black 1 is lighter than regular black. So the darkest possible for the background is generally what you want. And then also surfaces are generally lighter. Basically, the most important thing I think in a dark theme is your background color should be black. Your surfaces should be slightly lighter than that black, and then the rest is sort of customizable, other than you should probably make your text white. So that's all great. Now, how do we use these things, and how do we like dynamically switch between these things? Well, I like to create a composable, which is what they do in like the Google samples for Jetpack Compose. So composable, fun, we'll call this app theme. Open this up, and the constructor arguments it'll take is a Boolean named dark theme. So Boolean dark theme. The second argument will be content, and I'm going to explain this one after I write it all out. It's going to be a composable, so just writing composable. Whoops, I went to the next line, and this will return nothing. So now open this up, and what are we going to put in here? Well, we're going to use that material theme constructor, or that material theme composable. You haven't seen this before, but this is how we essentially toggle between the themes. We can pass fonts. So if you take a look at this, like you hold down Control, you'll see colors, typography, shapes, and content. So the colors we have just defined in this video. In the next video, we're going to do typography, which is the font. Shapes are like how rounded you want stuff, or different shapes that you use. You can basically create a shapes file, just like we've created a colors file. And we're going to be doing that, I think, in the next video also. Now, what do we put for colors? Obviously, we just do one of the colors that we just created. So for us, we have to do an if statement. If it's dark theme, then we want to use our dark theme colors. If it's light theme, so else, we want to use our light theme colors. And that is all you have to do. And then inside of your material theme, you just call your content. And now every single thing inside of every composable in your application will get updated with either the dark theme colors or the light theme colors based on this Boolean. It's that easy. So now how do we use this app theme composable? Well, we want to go into whatever fragment we want. Well, all of the fragments in the project actually. So for us, that's going to be recipe list fragment and also recipe fragment. So all we need to do is inside of set content, before you do anything, just call app theme, and then pass whether you want this to be dark theme or light theme. I'll say dark theme false for now. Just go to the next line. And then inside of this, this function, this is where our content goes. So if we take a look here, this is the content. By the way, if you don't know, there's a Kotlin convention that the last argument in a function will get passed as a function, or to the Lambda here. So like I could have done content equals and then put our content in here, but then I can't add that down at the bottom. But instead, if I don't add the content, then I can put this down at the bottom. That's just a Kotlin convention. So now what I want to do is put everything that was inside set content inside of that app theme. So I'm just going to grab everything here, literally every single thing, and then just paste it inside here. And now that will inherit the theming from that app theme composable. So maybe at this point, let's just run it and take a look and see what that looks like. I know we're not done yet. We still need to be able to toggle between themes. But just for now, we're going to hard code it as light theme and just see what this looks like. Okay, there's the app launching. We have our blue status bar, which we set in the themes.xml. And there you go. You can see that the colors are being applied. We have that, our white up here. I think that was white before, but I think that was hard coded. I think we should actually check that. But this has changed. Like the buttons here are now a different blue color. I think they were purple before. And yeah, so there's not actually much colors that come through here. So it's kind of hard to see, but the text is white. So like on the primary color is white, the surface is white. One thing I do want to make sure though is I think I hard coded the color for the toolbar as white. So let me go and take a look. So let's go into, it should be in the components, go into search app bar. And yeah, so this is hard coded as white. So to use the colors that you've defined in the theme, remember before we were using material theme and then we would have access to the colors, but they weren't configured before. Well, now all of these are configured to be what we set them to. So like this surface color is going to be what it was set to here, this surface color right here, which is white. And it's the same for everything else. So every other color here, if I press dot, we have primary, secondary, background, all of those colors. Those are all the colors that are defined here. So that's how we can customize our theme and like easily access them through this material theme. So I'm going to call dot surface on this one because I want my surface to be white. So also while we're in the search app bar, I want to add a little button up here so that we can toggle between light and dark theme. So scroll down below, it'll be a child inside of this row. So let's go into this row scope and go down towards the second one. I'm going to use constraint layout here. So constraint layout and add a modifier, set that equal to modifier dot align and do alignment center vertically. So the reason I'm using a constraint layout here is because I want this little icon to be in the far right hand corner here. And I think an easy way to do this is to just use a constraint layout and then constrain it to the end of the parent. I think that's just a simple way to do it. There's obviously multiple ways to do the same thing. It's up to you if you want to use this method or something else. So say menu equals create reference. Now we need to create an icon button. So icon button, this will take an on click function, and also we need a modifier. So modifier equals modifier dot constrain as, then we pass that menu reference. Now inside here we can set up the constraint layout stuff. So I can say end dot link to parent dot end, then do top dot link to parent dot top, and also bottom dot link to parent dot bottom. So what that'll do is just link it to the end, the top, and the bottom. So it'll be on the far right of the screen. And then the composable that gets passed as input to this icon button will be an icon. So I'm going to write icon and then do icons.filled.more vert. So that's a vertical ellipses icon. Now we need something for this on click function. We need a way to toggle the theme when we click this thing. I'm going to create another function that gets passed as an argument called on toggle theme. So copy that, go up to the very top here and add another argument here called on toggle theme. This will be a function that takes nothing and it returns nothing. And that's how we're going to toggle the theme to light or dark. So we almost have everything we need kind of set up to do, the toggling between light and dark theme. The problem now is here we have like a hard coded in Boolean, and down below here we have a function. So on toggle theme, and we have nothing to actually toggle the theme here. So where's a good place to build functionality to toggle the theme between light and dark? So generally speaking, the best way to do this would be to either save some kind of a flag in the cache or the data store, or that's shared preferences. For those of you who don't know, the data store is the new shared preferences. So that would be the best way to do it. But in this project, this is a beginner project, so we're not going to be using shared preferences. We're not going to be using database caching. So that's something that we're going to do in the next video. So for now, what we're going to do is just save a global variable inside of the application class, and then we'll use that to toggle back and forth between light and dark theme. So let's go into our application class. So scrolling down to base application, and inside base application, we will create a Boolean that denotes light theme or dark theme. So value is dark equals mutable state of, and this will be false to start off because we're going to be in light mode to start off. I'll put a comment here that says should be saved in data store or cache in a real app, just so you know, because otherwise when the app restarts, whether it was in light theme or dark theme is just going to get reset. So it's important to persist it across application launches. Now function toggle, we'll say toggle light theme, I guess, or toggle theme, whatever you want to call it. So is dark.value, and then just set that to not is dark.value. So when you toggle it, it's just going to change to whatever the opposite is. Now that we have this, we can go into our recipe list fragment, and up at the top here, we're going to inject our application class. So late init variable, we're going to call it application and just do base application, base application. Remember, this is provided by Hilt. So just to kind of remind you, if you go up to the DI package and go into the app module, here we are providing the application context with this function right here. So that means I can inject it into anything, anything that accepts things to be injected. In that case, we are injecting into recipe list fragment because I have my Android entry point annotation. So I'm injecting the application class. Of course, also I could have got it through the activity, like I could have done activity dot application. That's another way that I could have got it, but injecting it is also fine. So I'm injecting it up here. Now that we have that, I can go into our dark theme boolean here. I can say application dot is dark theme. So just is dark. Is dark dot value, sorry. So now that will denote whether it's in light theme or dark theme. And then if we want to toggle that, I want to go down into our on toggle theme function and say application dot toggle light theme. And that's it. So now that should do what we set out to do. Let's run this and take a look if we can toggle between light theme and dark theme. Okay, there's the app launching. Looks like we're in light theme to start, which is good. That's what we said. So let's just scroll around a little bit. Let's maybe click one of these. Now let's decide to toggle to the dark theme. So boom, there we go. There's our dark theme. Now one thing is actually wrong about this. You can see that this background is gray. So that makes me think that I hard coded in the background color because that when you're using dark theme, see notice that background should be black. That's kind of like the convention with dark theme. Anything that's raised above the background should be slightly lighter. So like this is a slightly lighter black, and then this background should be darker. So that makes me think that I hard coded in something. So if I go to maybe recipe list fragment and let's see, probably right here, this box actually. This box should have a modifier that changes the background color. So here I have just fill maximum size. Here I should also do, background and do color and do material theme dot colors and then do background. So background. That should change it to that black color because if we refer back to our theme, the background color, oh, this is wrong. That's why. This background color should, oh, sorry, that's the light theme. So dark theme colors, the background is black. So let's run that and take a look and see if that's correct now. Okay, there's our light theme. Now let's switch over to dark theme. There we go. That looks much better. So that's the convention with dark theme. That's really like, there's not much you need to know about dark theme. Basically, it's just like the background should be dark black. Anything that's raised above that should be slightly lighter. So that's why the cards are slightly lighter. And then generally the text that's on anything should be white. That's pretty much all there is to the conventions of dark theme. So that's most of what you need to know regarding theming with Jetpack Compose. It's quite a bit easier, I would say, than the old way to do theming. This video is probably 20 to 25 minutes long, and you mostly have everything you need to know about theming. You can define your own color schemes. Actually, one thing I didn't show you is how to define something other than light theme and dark theme. So maybe I'll show you that really quick. So if you wanted another color scheme other than like just light theme colors and dark theme colors, all you would need to do is just do like value some other colors, whatever you want to call it, and just use a colors object, get that import from the Android X Compose material. Now all of the parameters here are the same as the parameters that we just looked at. Primary variant, secondary, and so on and so on. So you would just define another color scheme here, exactly like we did here. And you could, maybe instead of having a simple if-else logic here for if it's dark theme or light theme, you would have like a when statement that had different themes that you could easily toggle between. So it's really just super flexible. You can define any number of themes and very easily toggle between them at runtime. Very cool. So that is mostly it when it comes to colors, dark theme, light theme, toggling between them at runtime, that kind of thing. And this is most of the theming stuff with Jetpack Compose. The only stuff that we need to work on now is the typography. So that's like fonts, and then the shapes. So how rounded are the cards? Maybe you have other shapes in your application for, I don't know, horizontal scrolling stuff. Like maybe you don't want them circles, maybe you want them some other weird shapes. Anyway, it doesn't matter. What I'm trying to say is you just define like a global shapes class, and we'll also be doing that in the next video. Now, before you go, don't forget your engagement. If you came this far, if you watched a 30-minute video or 25-minute video or whatever this is, obviously you liked the video. Don't forget to go down there, tell YouTube that you liked the video, and leave me some kind of engagement. Tell me how I helped you understand Jetpack Compose theming. I don't know. Maybe I helped you blast off into theming and design your own special styles for your application, something creative. Come up with something good, and that'll make me happy. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Hey, what are you still doing here? The video's over. Well, since you're still here, I guess I'll show you the best Android courses that exist on the planet. I got all kinds of high quality courses. If you scroll on down on the homepage, there's the Jetpack Compose one that you're watching right now. There's that course. We have MVI architecture, if you've ever been curious about that. We have my classic powerful Android apps with Jetpack architecture. This shows you everything from, well, the focus on this one is pretty much database caching. We get data from a real API, we cache it, we basically design an app to work when there's no network connection. That is what this project is all about. We have some UI testing, another UI testing, HILT, which we actually went over in this course. We got clean architecture. This one's probably the best. This is definitely the best course on my website. If you are a professional or you are looking to get into the industry, the skills that you learn in this course are absolutely fundamental. This will give you a big edge in any job environment, whether you're applying or you're already at a job and you want to just improve your skills. This is a really, really, really high quality course. It's hard. Your brain might explode while watching it, but you will learn a lot. You'll learn a lot of really, really fundamental skills. You know, anything from getting data from the network, caching data, designing different layers, abstracting out the different layers so that you can write unit tests, espresso tests, so UI tests, Dagger, navigation components, everything. It's beautiful. Definitely, this is the best course on the website.